Welcome back, blade fans. Look at the spread we've got for you here today. This just kept growing and growing and growing. I was going to do 5, then 7, and now here we've got 8, and I actually had to pare it down from 9. So what are we talking about here today? Well, we're talking about the next echelon of small carry knife. Really, they're more medium. I'm calling this the 4-inchers. Laugh at that as you may, or not. Some are 4.5, one's 4.5, I think, most coming in around 4. But contrasting with the old 3.5 inchers, and every half inch makes a difference when you're pocket carrying a knife. I've done a lot of videos on front pocket carry, and your pocket depth is going to vary depending upon the pants you're wearing. As they may say, mileage may vary, right? So not everything is always equal. But here we have representative knives that are both custom, high-end manufactured, and some budgety ones. I had to include a couple of budgety ones. So what is the value of the 4 to 4.25-ish inch knife over the 3.5-inch knife? Well, you get a full grip on the handle, you get more reach with the blade, you get more cutting surface, and you may have a knife that altogether feels better for you. Let's talk about the Civivi Tamashii. This is a design for Civivi by Bob Terzola, none other than the godfather, grandfather, what have you, of the tactical folder. He also designed tactical fixed blades long before he did tactical folders. And we're talking about, I think, like late 70s, early 80s. And I was buying his custom knives from him. Too bad I don't have any left. It's because I came in and out of the knife craze thing a couple of times, because I've been doing this for good 5 decades, collecting knives at least. Yeah, I'm up there. So that's why they call me Old Sword. This one's a 440C blade. No, I'm sorry, D2 blade. My mistake, D2. It's a Japanese-inspired design. Some would call it a tanto. Some would say that's not a tanto. It doesn't have a chisel point. Lynn Thompson changed all that in the early 80s, didn't he? Making us all think that you needed a chisel point to have a tanto. But just talk to James Williams and Chris Williams and those guys, and you'll see that not all tantos need a chisel grind. This is a beautiful one with a swedge, kind of Quaken-like, really, if you wanted to define it. Encapsulated tang. I mean, for I think about 60, 70 bucks, you're getting a hell of a knife here. And if you, perfect ergonomics. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each of these because it's going to take me forever and a day to get through 8. But we've got jimping here on the handle and on the blade. It's just so comfortable a knife to hold and use. Fairly high grind, fairly slicey. Nothing bad to say about this knife. Would be nice maybe if they gave it a bump up to S35 or something like that. S30, I don't know. Maybe they will. I think it certainly deserves it. D2, however, we can't disparage very much. And I'm going to leave these out of the sheaths. But I will say that Civivi makes an excellent sheath, and there is the Terzola Tech Lock, his patented design on this particular one, probably because it's his knife, and Civivi uses those a lot. So a little bulky for some carry. A lot of people are preferring the DCC clips these days. We're going to jump right to the other budgety knife by Damned Designs. And I'm not sure who's making these for him. It could be any one of a number of budget makers that are OEMing it. But this is the Fenreer fixed blade. He makes a Fenreer. This is Adrian de Sousa's design. He does make a folding Fenreer and a couple of, I think he's changed it a couple of times over the years. Got that same kind of hexagonal bolt that is usually the pivot, so he's kind of carried that over from the folder. It is a tall blade, and it is wickedly slicey. And he did all of these in a heavy stone wash, and I believe they're all 14C. Yep, this one's 14C. I think they were making them in S35 as well, but you had to pay a little more. I'm not sure. I don't think they did titanium handle scales. They did on the folders, but not on these. If you want that Wharncliffe style blade, I mean, just like the Spyderco Ronin, only much taller and a little bit more sane of a case, I should say sheath. Keep calling sheaths cases. This comes with a tech lock too. Nice tunnel there for pushing it off. I mean, everything is right about this knife. I'm not sure you can still find them, but check out DM Designs online. Check out some of the big online retailers such as Knife Center, maybe even, I think, White Mountain's carrying some DM Design knives. And they haven't been all that popular, so they might still be out there. Got a nice little choil there for go forward. So this can be a prep knife. This can be a slicer. This can definitely be a tactical knife with that point. And if you follow Michael Janich's philosophy of cutting with that tip and having that edge down here, then you know that this will go through materials very easily, either in this direction or this direction. So whether you're watching this video because you like tactical knives, or you're watching this video because you want a EDC larger fixed blade, so be it. We can't discuss tactical fixed blades without bringing up T.KELL Knives. Tim Kell, he's just been knocking it out of the park, and his latest is the karambit that he designed in with Neves, Jared Neves Knives. Check that one out. But this one is the Ops Hawk. And these blades, again, are getting bigger. This one is, you know, almost kind of an honorable mention, not because it's bad, but because it's a little bigger than the rest. We're coming up on 4 3/4 there, with about a 4 1/4 inch cutting edge. So this guy is longer by a bit than the rest, but oh, so comfortable. Kind of a narrow handle. This one is in his burl, like a red and black burl. He sent this to me for review and consideration a while ago, and I thank him so much. Tim has provided lots of knives for review. And again, if you don't know about T.KELL and his nickel boron finish and all of the details and special hardening that he's put into his knives, then you know, you've been under a rock somewhere in the tactical knife world. Ops Hawk. This one happens to be a Tonto. I think he might make it in a drop point as well. Can't say for sure. I'm going to make a little more room here. Let's alternate them. How about that? I like making designs with knives. There we go. And since I'm up here, how about the DCK by Compliance Edge? God, is he knocking it out of the park. Now, these are CNC machine knives that are finished by hand, but most of the work is done on machines, not hand ground. I'm not saying that's bad by any means, and you get a little more of a knife than you would for a custom for the bucks, sometimes about the same. This one's got a bronze Cerakote on it. It is a 3V blade. Tough. He gets that Rockwell way up over 60 on these, I believe, 61, 62 at least on his 3V. So they are hard and tough as nails. This comes in both a double edge version, really kind of a bayonet grind, and a single edge version for those that cannot carry in places where double edges are not allowed, if you follow the law to the T. I'll leave it at that. This is also perfectly set up, and the reason I got it perfectly set up for Karl, you got an edge in and an edge out, and that nasty point. Look at that point. Good God. And he puts mirror edges on his knives. Not particularly high a grind, can still suffice for EDC chores, and your hand is locked in to that handle. This feels so secure. I guess we can squeeze that one in there. Where are we at? Let's go to Mr. Bastinelli, Bastion Cove. Oh, this is his Red V2. Kind of a Tonto-esque design. Although you don't have the double grind, the compound grind there, you've got two distinct edge surfaces. And on this one, I think it really lends itself to some EDC work because of the serrations. A lot of people don't like serrations, the way that they maybe destroy the looks and the lines of a knife, but I think it actually adds to it on this guy. And here again, we're talking a 4-inch blade, exactly 4 inches. Overall on this guy is 8 3/4, and overall certainly will mean something to you, depending upon where you're carrying it. So a lot of these are going to carry beautifully with DCC clips. I think I don't have a clip on this one. Got this like on an eBay sale, and it is a genuine Bastinelli, but made in Italy, N690 steel. He's going a lot to M390 and Magna Cut these days on a lot of his newer knives, so check those out too. The thing that's always weak on the Bastinelli knives, maybe not so much recently, but in the past, is that the sheaths are kind of thin, and it kind of just, you know, sort of just so-so. It does lock in. I think I reformed this a couple of times and does snap off. So that's really all that I am concerned with. And I've got enough of a buffer here so I know that if I fall, the point's not going to go through the sheath. But ergos on this knife are just incredible. The sculpting he does on that handle and the way that he considers the blade for both EDC and tactical use, I mean, it's just incredible. If you haven't checked out a Red V2, I think they're about 200 bucks. I think they're still being made in N690 in Italy by Fox. Yep, this one is Fox. Jimping everywhere, just feels perfect, like he knew exactly how you're going to handle the knife. I don't know what to say. And this is true of all of his fixed blades as well as his folders. That is the Bastinelli Red V2. Well, where are we at? We got 2 left. Wow, how did I do that? How about RMJ? Boy, did they make a knife. Unmei, Japanese-inspired knife. And 4 inches again, just slightly less. And about 8, slightly less than 8 1/4 overall. So kind of a nice in-between size. Effective jimping. And this guy is Magna Cut that I am told they are hardening up to 63, 64. So you Magna Cut guys who are checking out hardness, HRC, and so forth on fixed blade and other knives, this one is hardened to pretty much where it should be. Got a little bit of a trailing point there above the axis of the handle on the top. Not my most favorite blade style. I like a little bit more of a drop point, but there's so much going for this knife, including the 3D milling that they do on this. This is like a desert tan sort of a thing. They make it in olive green, desert tan, and they got names for each one, and in black on, I would say, all of their fixed blades, no matter what you're getting. Feels comfortable, is pretty thin cross section there, is contoured as you can see. Have an exposed tang, kind of raised, proud, and yet it is, they do kind of a V grind, breaking the edge there. Same thing they do here on the spine. Just nicely done. Magna Cut on that guy. And we're going to another Magna Cut knife for our last one. And for our last one, we have, yes, Auxiliary Manufacturing, Michael Jarvis. God, does he make a beautiful knife. And his are handmade as far as I know, hand ground, hand finished. Beautiful rock pattern on the spine there. He does that on all his fixed blades. And this is the Karl that was designed by a Chicago police officer in concert with Michael for the knife that he wanted that could do everything, that would be defensive, that would do daily cutting chores, And you can see that's like a triangular shape piercy point. Magna cut on this one, and Michael says he gets his magna cut up to 63, 64 as well. Fat carbon on this one, picked it out because it was just a little fancy. Very durable material, full size knife, 4-inch on this one, yep, and 8.5 overall. So that seems to be where they're coming in for these 4-inch blades, is 4-inch to 4.5, and like 8.25 to 9 inches overall. I think the longest one we had so far was on the T.KELL Ops Hawk. All right, well, there is my collection video for the day. Did I miss any? No, let's see, what do we got? Did I say I had 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7. I brought it down to 7. I thought I was going to have 8. I guess this guy is the 8th, but that's my example knife. And that, again, is the, for size reference, this guy is the Spyderco Street Beat, little brother of the Street Bowie, designed by very famous knife maker. What's his name? I'm going to have to, I should know. Fred Perrin. Oh, I'm glad I didn't miss his name. Fred would come and get me, man. There you go. Those are my 4-inchers, plus the little 3.5-incher for size comparison. Be well, take care. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. I will be back with you soon.